It's Friday, the 13th of November, 2020. Welcome to Friday the 13th. And boy, do we have a Friday the 13th forecast for you, especially if you want to be outdoors or to travel this weekend across the Intermountain West. Hold on tight, folks. We are going to see powerful jet stream winds. Jet stream winds that'll be going 150, 160 miles per hour will cross the Continental Divide of Colorado and Wyoming and other surrounding states this weekend. We're going to see another shot of mountain snow. This is a fabulous setup to really make it snow in the high country, but make it very, very windy on the plains. We're going to have horrible travel conditions along some sections of Interstate 80 and the mountain passes of the West as we get into tonight through Saturday night and Sunday morning because of the combination of heavy mountain snow and very strong winds across the plains. And some plains will get some snow. We'll show you that here in a minute. Now, there's a break in the weather Monday through Wednesday. We can take a breather. We'll see the winds fall down considerably in speeds, and it'll be warmer, and Monday through Wednesday will be dry. But the pattern gets active again late in the week and into Thanksgiving week. There's a lot of weather coming over the next 2 or 3 weeks. This is where we are today. Notice how the jet stream pattern is really kind of just moving along fairly straight across a large part of the northern hemisphere, but there are very strong winds coming on through. This guy right here coming into Oregon and Washington, this is what's going to be coming through over the next 24 to 36 hours. Notice how these black lines are packed close together. This is a very, very strong temperature gradient, which makes for a lot of wind at the jet stream level. A big contrast between cold up north and the warmer air here is driving these winds and making them very, very strong. Big differences in temperature is what drives the jet stream and makes those winds stronger. By tomorrow, look how quickly this system goes. From noon today to noon tomorrow. That is a very quick moving system. But notice how it goes right across the central and northern Rockies. Northwest winds aloft, bringing cold, moist air from the Pacific, drives that moisture into the mountains of the west, but makes it extremely windy along and east of the Continental Divide. Now, here are those jet stream winds I was showing you. By Saturday midday through Sunday morning, these are jet stream winds that are just howling. And you're looking at 150 mile per hour jet stream winds, and this basically will just translate south and east across all of the area before getting to the east of us by Sunday afternoon. This is a pattern, this northwest flow, that will drive the snow into the high country and make the winds blow 60, 70 miles per hour, especially in that area there. Now, I want to show you, nobody is escaping the wind. These are wind gusts by noon Saturday. And look at all the red and the orange, where you see brown is where the winds are going to be at their worst. But these winds go all the way through the Pacific Northwest, throughout all the interior West, even into the Great Basin, even into California, New Mexico. I mean, this is just a very windy pattern. Hard to escape the wind. You really got nowhere to hide. Now, by Monday, nice area high pressure comes in. We have this guy up here, though. We've got this guy up here, and you're going to see it getting more active. But early next week, a nice break is coming on up. But between now and then, here's the precipitation forecast, and you can see I've shown you a graph that looks almost identical every day this week. That moisture just gets driven into the mountains, heaviest closer to the moisture source, the Pacific Northwest mountains. But look at the Idaho mountains, the mountains of northeastern Oregon, even into eastern Washington. Now you see the amounts of precipitation drop the further east you go, but even the central and northern Colorado mountains and the southern Wyoming mountains will see significant snow. Now let's convert that to snow, and you can see how impressive the snowfall amounts are going to be. Now this is in addition to what has already fallen this week. This is the new snow that's coming here over the next 3 to 4 days. So if you're a snow hound, I can tell you the way the pattern's looking, the skiing in Colorado, Wyoming, Utah, and Idaho, and throughout the Intermountain West by early December is going to be very good, as we're going to see several of these systems enhance the mountain snowpack in the coming weeks. So traveling through the mountain passes or over the roads and highways this weekend, you're going to have encountering not only wind, but mountain snow. And I also want to highlight this area right here. Notice we've got snow falling along sections of Interstate 80 from late tonight through Saturday. So that's going to be causing a lot of blowing snow, very icy conditions, and just really poor travel weather from south central Wyoming, the southwestern areas of Wyoming, into the northeast areas of Utah. Going to have some real big travel headaches this weekend. Now, I want to show you what happens after the nice weather early next week. Here comes another trough by next weekend. This could be an interesting weather maker. By late next week and next weekend, we could see snow and colder weather returning to the region. Queued up to the north is another area of low pressure. And by the 24th of November, another wave comes through just before Thanksgiving. Then by Thanksgiving weekend, a very impressive trough comes in, followed by another one up here behind it. Now, this is 15 days away, so take with a grain of salt. But it does look like the western and central United States for Thanksgiving week and Thanksgiving weekend is going to have some weather to contend with. A quick update on sunspot activity. The sun has really woken up. We definitely have gotten out of the solar minimum. We're still very, very low activity with the sun, but we have sunspot activity across the sun's southern hemisphere, which is where it should be with the next solar maximum coming in, with the solar activity picking up. I want to remind folks, seeing a sunspot or getting sunspots doesn't change the weather. There's a long lag time. The process of cosmic ray activity through the solar cycles is something that doesn't happen right away. So although we're seeing solar activity and we're seeing sunspots again, as we should, as we have bottomed out with the minimum, it doesn't instantly change the weather. It's a long process. Thanks for listening to Watching the Day Weather Podcast. Hopefully you can get through this Friday the 13th and this windstorm this weekend safely. Talk to you on Monday.